What's up, everyone? It's Michael here, aka Dangstrat. I hope all is well. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Today is Monday, March 17th, and here is my weekly outlook for the upcoming week for the Forex, indices, and the crypto market. So, starting off with dollar on the weekly chart, again, you can see that we have a clear range here, and we've deviated the range high. So, the first week of March, we closed well back within this range and we created an imbalance on the weekly time frame last week. So the upcoming catalyst for this week will be FOMC on Wednesday. And most likely, I won't be taking anything going into FOMC. I will be looking for setups post FOMC for this week. Last week, we had a nice short setup on EU. That was my only setup and trade that I took last week. Hit a nice little 2R setup there. This week, I will stay patient. I will be waiting for FOMC, and then we'll start looking for setups in the later half of the week. But right now, going back to this weekly chart here, the clear higher time frame draw on liquidity is going to be the range low. And right now, we're hitting the midpoint of the range. So again, ideally, I would like to see some sort of retracement into this weekly fair value gap. We'll see if FOMC, it'll cause that retracement back into this level here on the daily time frame. And ideally we can get a retracement into this daily fair value gap. I would think that we would see a continuation lower from this level. So that is what I'm currently looking at for DXY. Moving over to EU. EU is quite strong right now. We're most likely probably going to see the previous week's high get taken out probably before FOMC, and then from there we will see if we can get a retracement, maybe potentially down into this daily fair value gap here. But again, right now EU is very strong and it's not showing any signs of weakness at the moment. So until I get a change in the state of delivery on the daily time frame, I won't be looking for shorts yet. Okay. What could happen is, tomorrow, for an example, let's say we get an up close candle to take out the previous week's high. Then Wednesday, we get a displacement candle lower, okay, and we create an order block here. Then I would look for potential shorts for the short term. But, the higher time frame bias for EU is still going to be bullish to this range high here. And this is going to be, the target on the higher time frames for the next couple months. But for short term right now, maybe tomorrow we get a setup, a long setup to the previous day's high, the previous week's high. And then we'll let FOMC happen, see where price goes from there. So right now, some potential POIs that I am watching for is either potential short off the previous week's high, potential longs off this imbalance below, and maybe if we get a setup, overnight, a clean PO3 setup, then I may look for longs to the previous week's high. So that's currently where I am at for EU. Moving over to GU, you can see GU here is showing a little more strength. You can see GU took out the previous week's high already. And so right now, again, we'll see what happens, but this candle took out liquidity. We had a nice up close candle here. If we close below this level, this open, okay, that would form an order block on the daily time frame. And then short term, we could look for potentially this low to be the target for the next short term draw on liquidity. But for right now, the structure is still bullish. We haven't seen any change in the state of delivery on the daily time frame. So, we're not going to look for shorts yet for the short term. You see for the higher time frames, we have range high, range low. We deviated the range low. So now we're trading back above the midpoint of the range. And so higher time frame, I'm still going to expect the drawn liquidity to be to this level here, range high, in the upcoming months. But again, short term, we'll wait for a change in the state of delivery. I'm not too interested in longs at the moment. I think things are a little bit extended, in my opinion. We just took this level out here as well. So ideally, maybe we get one more raid, and then short term we can, potentially start looking for shorts if we get a change in the state of delivery on the daily time frame. And again, right now we have not seen that, so we will be patient here. Moving over to the indices market now. And for ES, let's go on to the weekly time frame first. You can see that we've broken structure here on the weekly. Okay, so this candle here, the first week of March, we broke structure, we closed below it. Last week we saw a continuation to take out liquidity here. And now short term, we're seeing a reaction off this level. One thing to note is NQ did not take out this low. So that could be a potential short-term SMT. And I think right now we're most likely going to draw towards this weekly fair value gap here. And I really want to see how price reacts off this level. If we close back above it, this could turn into an inversion. And then, longs could be valid for new all-time highs. Something like this. This could definitely be a scenario to watch for. We'll see. The main thing is I think this will be the next short-term draw on liquidity, and we'll see how we react off this level. I'm not too biased in terms of like the medium to higher time frames right now. Short term, I am bullish. I think we'll again reach this weekly fair value gap here, and then from there we will see how price reacts. Other than that, I'm not going to be too biased. Last week my idea was we were most likely going to get some type of retracement, and we'll probably get it this week. We could potentially still draw towards this range low here on the weekly time frame. That ideally would be my current bias, but again, we'll see how we react within this weekly fair value gap. If we close back above it, again, that could be the inversion, and then longs could be valid if we get displacement off that level. But for right now, I will treat this structure as bearish. I will treat this as a deviation of the range high. And until we see any, changes in the state of delivery, I will treat this as bearish structure and look for lower prices. But again, we'll see how things react with FOMC. Again, that will be the big catalyst for this upcoming week. Moving on to crypto, starting off with Bitcoin here. So last week we took out February's low. And after taking February's low, we kind of closed here with a doji candle on the weekly chart. So the weekly isn't that strong, in my opinion. For me to be bullish, I would need to see more displacement higher. Let me see what BTC looks like on CME or futures. All right, so CME, the CME chart looks decent here. Again, but right now you can see that we did raid February's low. You can see this CME gap. I drew this chart out a while ago. I drew this out. I think it was within February, as this could be possibly one scenario to watch out for. This chart here is the same exact chart from the previous cycle. So if you take this, this is the exact same chart where price made a high, we had a deep retracement lower, and then we had one last leg up to make new all-time highs, and that was the cycle top. So I think something similar could happen with this cycle. That's kind of what I'm planning for right now. This is a local top. We traded lower to fill the CME gap, and also retest this all-time high level. And right now we will see where things go from here. Again, I think this could be a very likely scenario here for BTC. I don't know if we make one more leg lower, retest this previous all-time high level on Bitcoin's actual chart, and maybe even potentially retest like this previous cycle's high. So, I don't know if this is the bottom here. I think we could potentially make one more low, something like this, and then go higher kind of in the second half of the year. So potentially something like this. That would be ideal for me. I wouldn't complain if we go higher from here, but right now it's not showing that it wants to go higher. I think it's kind of just chopping sideways a little bit. We did take out this low, and now it's chopping sideways. For me, I would need to see some kind of displacement, a nice displacement candle, and some follow through with that. So for me, again, I'm not going to be bullish until we reclaim this range low here for BTC. And specifically, I would want to see the yearly open reclaimed. So that is what I'm watching for BTC. Again, not too biased at the moment. Moving over to Total 3. This is the crypto market cap excluding BTC and Ethereum. So this is just basically for altcoins. And you can see right now, again, doji candle last week, but we did take out liquidity. And if we get a nice displacement candle to reclaim this low, that would be quite bullish in my opinion. That would be quite bullish. This looks like a nice PO3 setup on the daily time frame. You have accumulation here. You can treat this as the deviation for manipulation, and then now if we reclaim the range low, then that would be bullish, but we're not there yet. So we'll kind of let this play out a little bit and see where things take us. And moving over to ETH, this is quite weak. Again, not going to be bullish until we deviate this level here. So if we can reclaim like 2100, then that would look bullish for me. But for now, no reason to get excited yet. I would be patient here. We could potentially make a new low. Sol here looks like it still could definitely make a new low. You can see equal lows here at 109. So I think Sol could make a new low, and if that does, expect the total market cap or all the alt charts to make another low there. So that is what I'm currently looking at for crypto. And quick recap on everything. DXY, Forex and indices, and for crypto, the main catalyst for this upcoming week will be FOMC on Wednesday in 2 days. And right now for DXY, I would like to see a retracement here. We've seen a massive down move. There hasn't been any rage for buy side. So ideally, I would like to see a retracement into this daily fair value gap before looking for a continuation to the downside for DXY. And same idea for Euro. I think tomorrow we could potentially get a long setup to target the previous week's high. I think potentially off the previous week's high, we could get a short setup, but I would need to see a change in the state of delivery on that in order to start looking for shorts there. And if we do get short setups, I think short term, this low here, where this imbalance is on the daily time frame, could be the next short-term draw on liquidity. But overall, the higher time frame is bullish. I think we will draw to the range high, for the rest of the year here for Euro USD. Same idea with GU. I think we will continue to draw towards the range high for the higher time frames. Right now, we did take out the previous week's high. We will see if we get a change in the state of delivery. And then if we do, then I would look to target this low here for potential shorts. But for now, structure is still bullish. You got to be patient here. And recapping indices, we did take out this low here for ES, and Q didn't take out the low, so it could be a potential SMT there. The weekly chart shows that there's an imbalance there on the weekly time frame. So I think short term, we will draw towards the previous week's high, and from there, we will see how price reacts. If we inverse this, we could look for potential longs. If we reject off this level, we could, make new lows, potentially retest, this support level here for ES and Q. Again, broke structure here on the weekly. This could be an SMT, so short term, I think we'll probably take out the previous week's high. From there, we will see if we inverse that weekly fair value gap or if we reject and then draw towards the range low here on the weekly time frame. And last but not least, BTC. I'm really watching this CME chart here. I think this is most likely going to be the scenario that plays out for the rest of the year, where we kind of chop around a little bit. We may make another low, but overall, I think we will finish the year higher. We'll make one last leg up to top out for this cycle, like the previous cycle, and then, the downfall starts from there. So again, I'm kind of expecting something like this for BTC. That is my ideal scenario. We'll continue to take things week by week there. So that is it for this week's outlook. I hope all is well, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace out.